with bouncing this morning. This is something we're doing this off season where we stream every Thursday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And I figure while you guys are kind of like working or busy, you can kind of just have it on in the background, and it'll be kind of good background noise as we kind of navigate the streets of Underdog Fantasy. But how's it going? Anybody that's in here, let me know. Say what's up. I'm just making sure that we got all the links and the stream is all good to go. Everything looks like it should be all right. But how are we? How's everybody doing? It's good. How is everybody doing in here? Let me just see. So yeah, we have this. I think we got tags on this video. Yeah, all right. So everything looks pretty good. How are we? We sound good, we look good, we feel good, we play good. What's going on? We got Kevin in here. Yo, Big Ron. What's going on? It's funny how many of you guys call me Big Ron. I mean, I am a big bull. I'll admit that, but it's not like you guys have seen me in person. We said would be dope if we got some thoughts on Breece Hall. That's the player that I really want to talk with Jacob about because he's been all over Breece Hall. It seems like Dalvin Cook is pretty much on his way there at this point. I think that he's meeting with the Jets today, Dalvin Cook. And we kind of brushed up on it last time with Jacob, and I imagine that he probably feels the same way. And if Dalvin Cook signs and Breece Hall stays as a third-round pick, then I'm not all that interested. But it's very unlikely he stays as a third-round pick, and we like to get a discount. And the thing with Breece Hall is we're chasing a 20-plus point per game upside play here, right? So Dalvin Cook doesn't really hurt his upside case. It really hurts the floor more so, but that's already compromised by the ACL, right? Like the outcomes to his season are that the ACL injury makes it so he's not himself. He can't shoulder a workload. Dalvin Cook doesn't really do much for me there in that range of outcomes. And then you have the high end where Breece Hall is an absolute monster down the stretch. He's efficient. I don't think – I think if Breece Hall is the same dude we saw last year, I don't see Dalvin Cook taking away a meaningful amount of touches or carries from Breece Hall, price adjusted, if that makes sense. Like a fifth-round Breece Hall with Dalvin Cook in that backfield is a bet I have no problem taking. Dalvin Cook is dusty at this point. He's not someone I'm all that scared of. I think that he is just someone who would push the price down on Breece Hall, give him a little bit more cushion to come back to full health, and then his upside case down the stretch of the season is still the same. We got Ray Gillen here. I know that name. We got Brandon in here. What's going on, fellas? Yo, good morning, sir. Everything good? Love to see it. You said you traded your Dak in a second for Deshaun. I think that's probably fine. We got a Germany boy in here. Got to win the league against all the Newberinos over here. Love to hear it. It's crazy. You guys would be shocked how many like international fans of fantasy football there are. You said at the hospital, my baby just got delivered. Oh my God, Jay. Oh my God. I appreciate it, brother. We got Tyler in here. We got Chandler in here. Jet signing Dalvin Cook would be hilarious. We'll get to watch a Zeke Pollard dichotomy with a clearly washed running back getting 50% of the touches over an elite talent. The thing is, I don't think the Jets would have as much allegiance to Dalvin Cook. Like if he's dusted, like last year we saw with James Robinson, Jets traded for him. He came to the Jets, and then James Robinson was washed, and they just stopped playing him, you know? Like Dalvin Cook would still have to be good. Like I don't think that it would be the same situation as Zeke where they have so much money tied up in him that they have to give him all of those touches. What else we got? If you had 1 and 3 overall pick and redraft, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, wide receiver, 1 flex, who are you taking? 1 and 3 overall pick? But I would take some combination of like Jefferson and Kupp. Sup, Ron, first live stream. We jumping into BBM? Yes, sir. We're going to jump into one in a second. Ron, any changes around zero RB these days? In the past, it might have been stronger because you were zigging other than zagging with the strong RB climate. Now it's strong wide receiver climate. Yeah, I do want to make a video kind of on the climate right now because it is very interesting. Like I wanted to show you guys. I don't know how I'm going to structure this video, but it's something that I might as well show on here before we hop in a draft. It is very interesting. Where was I looking up ADP? Damn. So I could get in trouble for this, all right? So everybody keep this under wraps, all right? Fantasy Mojo and FFPC are really annoying with, like, posting screenshots and stuff, but I wanted to show this. Okay, so I had that chart. Remember I had that chart that showed like how many 22.5 plus point per game running backs we have every season. So let me look up that chart real quick on my profile on Twitter. And I'll share that screen in a second. Let's sort of, I just want to make sure that we're all sort of set up here. I'll share my screen. Hopefully I don't expose myself. I don't think I'm going to, but I think we'll be all right. All right, so let's share this real quick. That's not quite what I want. All right, so like here's the thing. All right, so where's this tweet I had? So this is what's kind of interesting here is if we look back to here, we've had dry spells like this before with the running back sort of climate, right? Where we see here like right now from 2022 to 2019, right? So 2, 1, we have 3 legendary running backs in this span, 2019 to 2022. From 2012 to 2015, there was a similar dry period. I think it was just because there was a bad crop of rookie running backs, but there's a similar dry period here. And we saw some pretty extreme ADPs. Now, again, I don't want to blow up their site here. So give me a second, but I do want to show you guys like what a draft board from like that. So pretty much like 2012 was awful. So 2013 was kind of an overreaction, or not an overreaction, but just kind of a reaction to what happened. So again, remember, like 2012 was a terrible year for running backs. And if you look at like, I'm just gonna pull up like one random 2013 draft board in like a high stakes main event league. So this was drafted September 6th, 9 a.m. A random draft. But like you guys are gonna see, or no, am I an idiot? Was it 2014? There was one of these years where draft boards looked like they do right now, and it was like way before their time. Was it maybe 2015? Let me check real quick. Main event on September 11th. Nope, not what I'm looking for. I'm kind of coming up empty here. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I thought I saw a year that looked like that. 2013, 2012, 2014. Now, Fantasy Calculator is a pretty awful resource, but it's the only thing we have for like pre-2017 ADP. Who knows how accurate it is, but I'm trying to show that like there was a period of a dry spell for running backs that we sort of saw even before zero RB was even really popular. Yeah, it was like 2016. It was like 2016. Hold on, fellas. I know this isn't great great radio by any means, but I do just want to show you guys. Yeah, this is it. So this is 2016 ADP. Now again, please keep this under wraps. Like I can't I can't like I low-key I'm not supposed to show you guys this. So this is what it looked like in 2016. So again, like we had this dry period from, so 2016 was good, but remember, like this is following. So in the last 4 years, so from 2012 to 2015, there were only 2 legendary running backs, which is a similar dry period to what we have right now. And 2016 ADP kind of overcorrected here, where we're seeing this ADP, where remember this is 2016, and you have 4 wide receivers, so it's pretty similar to right now, where it's like Jefferson, Chase, Kupp, Tyreek Hill, and then you have your Christian McCaffrey. The market reacted pretty similarly. So I think it's really interesting to kind of look through this and kind of see what the lessons were from this season, because this is like, again, this is 2016 where first round running back was everything. And because I think this was like following the Devonta Freeman year where like there was just no good running backs, the market kind of overcorrected. And even like the boomers and FFPC leagues in 2016 were taking 4 wide receivers off the board to start their draft. So I just think it's really interesting. This is pretty much the environment we're in right now, where we are at a dry spell of running back. The market has fully corrected at this point. And you have people who have been drafting running backs in the first round all their life, more comfortable than ever to take 4 wide receivers up top. And it's why I think, like we've always talked about this last year, when running backs are going at the top of the board, on the back half of the board, I don't want to draft a running back because you're just getting a shittier version of the team that 101 drafted. But when we have the 101 taking wide receivers up top, I almost am more tempted to go, like you guys saw my double hero RB build with Bijan and Chubb in our high stakes league. And I don't mind that when like you can draft the RB5, you can draft the RB4 and RB5 round 1 and 2 at the turn there. So I'm more open to going double hero RB on the turn, and I'm more open to forcing zero RB in the beginning. but it's just something to be aware of. We've seen kind of this market before. It's going to be very interesting. I think if I'm correctly, I think Johnson and Gurley both had pretty sweet years, but it's just interesting. Just the entire thing's interesting. I think it might have been Zeke's rookie year as well. I just think it's really interesting that, again, like this isn't like super, you know what I mean? It's like 9 drafts from high stakes leagues, but it's just interesting. In 2016, ADP looked the same after a dry period of running back scoring, similar to right now. So, with that being said, let's hop in a draft, huh? Let's hop in a damn draft. Now, if you are new here, make sure you check out Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the best platform out there to play best ball. They have Best Ball Mania. They have the puppy out. They have a bunch of good stuff. You can draft a team. You don't have to worry about it. They set your lineups for you every week. There's no trades. There's no waivers. There's nothing. You draft a team. You have fun, and it is the best way to get ready for your home league, where you're going to see some pretty crazy values in your home league, where you've been drafting second round Chris Olave, or you've been drafting like third round Calvin Ridley, and then the 5th round comes around and Calvin Ridley's there in your ESPN home league, and you're like, damn, this is wrong, right? The market is efficient on Underdog because there's money on the line in every single one of these drafts. When you're looking at like ADP of all these sites like Yahoo and ESPN, you have like little toddlers messing around, auto drafting players, people taking a bunch of kickers. Like the ADP data just isn't accurate. So the play is hop on Underdog Fantasy, use promo code Ron. I have a link in the live chat, description, and comment section down below. You click it, it matches your deposit up to $100. You can condition yourself to what a draft room should look like on Underdog, and then you move over to your home league and you absolutely murder the competition because it is a much softer room. So with all that being said, if anybody wants to hop on a Best Ball Mania draft with us here, we're going to press enter, and then boom, another enter. So just got in here. Is this a Bijan approach? I'm not quite sure. We got Brock in here. What's going on, brother? You said you got AB at number 3 back-to-back in 2015 and 2016 in my home league. Redraft got D-Hop in the second in 2015. Easy league win. They had like 3,400 combined yards and 20-something TDs. It is very interesting, man. It's very interesting. And people don't like Antonio Brown was going like first overall some years. Like they're like pretty much like after AP and Jamal Charles, and you had that gap between them and then like your Le'Veon Bells and David Johnsons and Todd Gurley's, there was a dry period where you're pretty much just taking Antonio Brown or Gronkowski up top, which is pretty crazy for a period of time where like zero RB wasn't even a thing yet. Like I'm not even sure when Sean came out with the zero RB article on RotoViz in terms of the date. But what do we got? You said there's been a dry period for RBs, but I don't think the RBs now are as talented as RBs back then, at least among the young running backs. It is a fair point. It's a fair point, but I think Bijan's as good as any of them. But I agree with your point with the rest of them. The young crop right now, all of them are like injured or in weird spots. I do think you could say JT. I think in terms of like young talent, like JT, Bijan. But I mean, you're right. After that, like Swift hasn't lived up to expectations. Dobbins and Akers have been hurt. Like you really need draft classes to come up big. And that's why we saw like after 2017, we had like another running back renaissance there. And I think it's just kind of the natural swing of things. We will get one again. I really don't believe that we don't ever see a legendary running back season again. I know I sound like I'm out here hunting for Bigfoot, but I think we see one soon. It would be extremely irregular to go much longer without another dominant season. And I know you can make the case that like, teams aren't feeding their running backs the same workload as before, but teams are scoring more points than they've ever had. And things always swing back and forth in the NFL, I think. Also, we got the 4 spot, which is like maybe my favorite spot to draft out of right now. So this is very fun. Feel free to ask me, any questions, anything. I'm all yours for the next hour or so. I will say, I continue to try and fix this. All right, so we're on the clock here. Give me Cooper Kupp. I've been taking a lot of Cooper Kupp recently. Like this 4 spot, if McCaffrey goes or running back goes, like Kupp to me, I like Jefferson and Chase just because I think the floor is a little bit better just because they're younger. Like there's less risk of them sort of falling off. Both of them have better, like much more stable offenses that you can sort of count on pass volume. Stafford's a little bit more of a question mark. Kupp's like age is a little bit more of a question mark, but in terms of week 1 projection, Kupp is maybe the wide receiver 1 in week 1. But what else we got in here? Feel free to ask me any questions, whatever you guys got. You said you traded Godwin straight up for Christian Watson. I would take Watson over Godwin. Cook signs with the Jets. What does that do to Breece Hall's value? I addressed it at the top. I think you move his median outcome, right? His base case. You move that down a little bit. But I still think the upside is there. And wherever his price ends up post Dalvin Cook signing, I'll likely be all in if we get more discount on Breece Hall. I don't think Dalvin Cook's all that good. I don't think the Jets would have the same kind of investment that like the Cowboys did with like a Zeke and Pollard situation. I still think your outcomes are Breece Hall bust because he's not the same after the ACL injury, which doesn't really change with Dalvin Cook. And then he's a monster because he returns back to his previous self by like week 6, week 7, week 8. And he's a monster on efficiency, and he's just so good that the Jets have to give him the ball. We've seen the Jets go out and make a trade for James Robinson and then play him, and then he wasn't effective, and they immediately, started playing Bam Knight over him and Ty Johnson. So I don't think this is a team that's going to sink money into Dalvin Cook. And if Dalvin Cook isn't good and he's not playing well, I don't think that they are going to just ram him into the ground because of an investment or like whatever his 1-year deal is going to be if he signs today. You said you play with a bunch of 40-something-year-old men and they clown me for taking a wide receiver at 103. First one I'm catching live. Welcome in, James. We got Chris Diaz in here. What's going on, brother? We got DWB Mania in here at the 2 spot. Kaboom 90. What's going on, brother? You say, did I win this trade? You gave Carr, Keontae. Good Lord, this is a dusty trade, man. I don't know, man. That's a dusty-ass trade. I would be inclined to go. I'd be inclined to go Rashad Whiteside, but it's really close. Jets might play slower with Rodgers, though. I think they will, but they're going to be more efficient. They're going to move the ball more. Then the defense is going to give them some short fields, too. And as far as talented as JT, what the hell, Brock? 2021 exclamation point 3-9 was about as good as you can without catching. 2021 exclamation point 3-/9. But nothing really weird going on in this room right now. Bijan at 5, sort of putting his nuts on the table. Tyreek slipping down to 7 is a little bit further than I've seen him go. I would be ecstatic if I could get Tyreek Hill at 7. But yeah, nothing too crazy. Garrett Wilson at 10 is a little bit wild. JT at 13, a little bit wild. Saquon still off the board, still on the board despite signing that 1-year deal. Just like such a weird deal that he signed there. It's like pretty much the franchise tag. Just curious how. So we have, this is going to be Pollard. It's just going to have to be Pollard, fellas. Pollard to me is a guy that I would take like early second if I had to. I think I have Pollard right now in the rankings. I think I have him RB4. After CMC Bijan Eckler, it's Pollard for me. What else we got? You said, would you say 0 RV? I'm not sure I get the joke there. You got good morning. What's going on, Angel? What's going on? Good morning, brother. Well, Dalvin Cook on his way to the Jets if he signs. I feel like would you say 0 RB is still viable? Yeah. I think so, but I think it's more viable in this area of the draft. Like in a perfect world, like in a home league, I think you can pull it off where you get like Kupp or Chase or Jefferson here, and then like Olave comes back to you, and you can kind of run it that way. Maybe come back around, take T. Still very much alive, but it's weird this year because 0 RB used to be a counter to like early, like somebody taking McCaffrey at the 101. But now it's more of a counter on like the running backs you can get towards the back half of the first round. So we're looking at Hurts, Metcalf, Andrews, Jacobs, Hall, Debo as well. Let's go Andrews, I think. Like, I'm not crazy about it. Dude, I got to be honest with you guys. The early third has been absolutely brutal this month. Like, I don't know what it is. It's been like the last few months it's felt like, but it's been absolutely brutal. Like, there's nothing here that I want to take, you know? Hold on, I'm just trying to figure out. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, so there's no way. I wanted to make the comments. I wanted to make like when I pull up a comment, it's like taking up so much of the screen, but I think we'll be all right. So what are people saying in the chat here? Think is he still the favorite to be RB2 on the Jets? Without Dalvin Cook there, he would be my guess, but it's really close. It's really, really close. Like, I'm not sure. It's tough to say. I sort of cooled off on them cutting Carter. I think they probably come into the season with 4 running backs. Travis Dye on the practice squad is probably the way that ends up, but I'm not sure. I think early on they probably just sort of default to Michael Carter, but like after that, I don't know how long that lasts. Which rookie wide receiver will have the best return on their ADP? Quentin Johnston. He's going way past the other round 1 guys. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Shout out Cheswick for holding it down, going 3 straight running backs here. You said you'll buy the price because if he falls, it'd be good week 8 on, which is what I want. Yeah, exactly. Who was the last tight end in your elite tight end tier for best ball? It's probably just Kelsey and Andrews. You finally passed on Bijan. Ron, you made a smart move, my friend. Keep an eye on Algier, though. this fucking guy. You see that Ridley clip? I really think we're not ready for the Jaguars. Oh, yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. We got Ridley in the fourth round in our last high stakes draft, which is really exciting. Trying to see anything else. Wow, that's actually a late slide on Hurts, man. Dude, if Hurts made it to that AJ Brown drafter, I know you just said over 200 drafts first AJ CD start, dude. If you got Hurts to come back to you there, holy shit, you were very close. What position should we concentrate on the first 3 picks? I'm very big on just letting the board fall to me my first 3 picks, and then kind of adjusting what I want to do from there. You said you tried to hop on your PPM, but just started Eckler, Olave, Andrews, Lamar. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. That is a wild one. I have not gotten that kind of start yet. Yeah, exactly, Brock. Have you drafted Superflex Pomeranian? I think there's a slight edge where people are valuing wide receivers the same, even though there's only 2 wide receiver spots. I got to be honest, man. This might be a bad take, fellas. This really might be a bad take. I just don't care for Superflex redraft leagues. I really don't. I know I probably should. I know some people swear by them, but I get my Superflex fix in Dynasty and the Scott Fish Bowl. Like, I don't see the need. Like, I'm very cookie cutter with my redraft leagues, man. Like, in redrafts, like, I just please. Who's it gonna be, Nate? I have one player I would really like, brother. Oh, we got Lamar to come back to us. Oh, that's a beauty. So our start through 4 here. Cup, Pollard, Andrews, Lamar. Come on. I mean, that's just too good. That is just too good, man. My goodness. I'm debating. I just don't like how you guys can't see really anything. Wow. Lamar coming back to us is sweet. What do we think about that, fellas? What the hell do we think about that? We got Fantasy Football Garage in here. What's going on, brother? What is going on? All right, so this is a nice start through 4. I don't know what I want to do. Are we really going to take Christian Kirk, man? Are we really going to take Christian Kirk, man? I'm taking Ayuk. I could have taken Kirk there, but I'm taking Ayuk. It just feels better, man. It just feels better. I don't know. All right, so hold on. Maybe we'll do this. Maybe we'll do this. Let me try something real quick. Share an entire window. What the hell, buddy? I mean, that's not quite doing what I wanted to do. I don't know. Is this better or worse? I don't know. I think it's a little bit better. I think it's a little bit better. I don't know. What else we got in here? You said this is my favorite start I've seen all year. Thank you, brother. I'm psyched about it. And we can just kind of switch back and forth. I think this is better. I think so. I think the BBMs might getting softer. They are, dude. They are 100% getting softer. That's a ridiculous start. Yeah, I'm stoked. Curious, I haven't caught up with the chat yet. I think you guys probably wanted Kirk there. You said Lamar at 45 when Burrow goes at 37 feels like such a gift. Yeah, I agree, dude. Especially in like half PPR. It makes no sense at all. You said a dream draft. I love the Pollard pick. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very big, very, very big fan of this. Lamar late 4th. Yeah, dude. I'm stoked. But yeah, I'm just now caught up with the chat, fellas. I was fucking around with the screen. Does this look better? This is so dumb. All right, brother. If you drop one more of these like whack predictions of like Bijan getting hurt, like you're getting banned, bro. Like shut up. I'm done hearing about you saying when Bijan's getting hurt. Like it's kind of whack, man. It's kind of whack to like root for a player's injury. So I'm begging you to chill out. I get it. You think Bijan's going to get hurt, but there's truly no glory in predicting an injury. I promise. Yeah, dude, that Akash thing was hilarious, dude. That Akash thing was so fucking funny, dude. Akash had like a tweet. He's like YZR Fantasy on Twitter. He had a tweet that was like, she doesn't want a guy who plays games, and he's like me, and it's like a picture of Kadarius Toney. It's something like that, and it got like thousands of likes on Twitter, and Kadarius Toney DM'd him. You said, how much should I be trying to target unique builds in this format versus best available? How much should I be trying to target unique builds in this format versus best available? I'd say most of the time I'm aiming for best available. I don't think you got to get too caught up in the uniqueness of things, because it's a pretty small final field in general. So Pittman, Gabe. We're going to take Gabe here. I just want a piece of a better offense. I was going to take Pittman, but I think you can kind of make the case for Gabe over Pittman, especially in best ball these days. Psych. You guys like the screen setup, or should I throw it back to what we were sort of starting off with here? I can't tell if sort of like leaving this up and then switching here is better, but you let me know. What's the biggest fantasy whiff you've ever made? Probably being super high on. I was a very big fan of Terrace Marshall coming out. It's probably one of my biggest misses. I would say Terrace Marshall and Darius Geis got me good. You say you're just waiting to run it back in the basement championship. I thought I was gonna say something. I thought you were the guy who won it last year. That was a fun league. We'll definitely do another tournament like that. They're annoying to host, but we got Ernie in here. Thank you, brother. Can't wait for you to come back to a stream when Bijan's RB1. Said Lamar correlates with Andrews perfectly. Oh yeah, it did. Very excited about this. Let me know, fellas. Do we like the way that we have the screen set up right now? I think I'll actually. I don't know. I don't know. I think this looks okay for now. All right, so now we're on the clock. Would have loved this Pitts value if we were in the market for Pitts, but let's just go Burks here. I'm starting to come around to like the 7th round Burks value. It kind of seems like where his ADP is settling out. I'm down to just kind of stack up this wide receiver room. This is kind of just going to be like a true hero RB build of something like 2682 or like 2592, something like that. But I figure we might as well hammer wide receivers while we can. Yeah, uniqueness tends to happen regardless. Like every draft room is different, you know. But yeah, I agree. You definitely don't want to. Definitely not best available across the board. You definitely want to be mindful of kind of positions and scarcity and what you can get later, and kind of go through the 2v2s. I got Pollard over Olave, dude. I got Pollard. I love Pollard. I was talking about it earlier, but I'll take Pollard in the early second, man. I'll take Pollard in the early second, no problem. No problem. We're looking through. Nothing too crazy sticks out to me. Guy stacks Tua with Tyreek, but he takes Tua. Like, this is like stacking the Phyllis. This is reaching the Phyllis stack, which is probably not the play. Like, he could have pushed Tua around this turn pretty easily. Could have added Kyle Pitts to this team, like 10 picks past ADP as well, which is probably where I would have gone if this was my team. But hey, I've got Tony at 106. Yeah, he continues to slide. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about Tony right now in this present market. I really don't know. Pick 100s Tony. I'm kind of in. Like, it's not a great sign that he's already having knee issues and like having problem, but it's like, I mean, like wasn't that was kind of baked in, right? Like if you were taking Tony, like you weren't like that's sort of baked in, but I guess like it kind of increases the risk that like he's already having issues. You said pick 45 Lamar. What the fuck is this bullshit? Yeah, dude. BBM has been, as long as you're not drafting in a ship chasing BBM room or a Pete Overzet BBM room, like the water is very warm right now to hop in and ape into some BBMs. I'm telling you. I am telling you. You said, have you looked at the final teams in the World Cup startup leagues? I have not. Probably should. You said, I sniped Davis from you. There goes my Allen stack. Had to get you with the Johnston. Oh, I would have loved Quentin Johnston there, and you know it. Yeah, I got to be honest with you guys. Like, Tony is interesting. Tony is very tough. Like, let me look through the list of wide receivers right now. Like, if we look through the list of wide receivers, like, so Tony's here. I'm probably taking Bateman over him. I think I'm probably taking Thomas over him. Sky Moore versus Tony, fellas. Sky Moore versus Tony. Sound off in the comments, dude. So I don't know. I think I'd probably put Tony between like JMO and Boyd here. Like where do I think I'd probably move him down here. Like, but as soon as Tony gets to like pick 100s, I think he's probably a fine pick. No? So it seems like Swift is falling after the penny reports. Is that what this is? I'll still probably take him here if Nate 8 great doesn't. I don't know. Do you think this is a sucker pick after the penny stuff yesterday? I mean, like I already have a lot of penny, but like this feels like a pretty decent price on Swift. Like 15 picks past where he's been going all summer long. Yeah, I'll take Swift. I'm not crazy about it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not crazy about it, but I think that's probably still a value where we just got him there. I'm not sure. Like I don't expect him to fall 15 picks. What I don't get about Tony is he can be a legitimate deep threat. All he does is play in the slot. Needs to hop on the outside. Huh. I can't say I know enough about his repertoire. We got Mike Murray in here, all caps, 10:08 a.m. already screaming and yelling. Sky Moore versus Tony. The answer is neither. It's tough. People seem to be pretty split on it. Pigeon, what the hell is this, dude? What the hell is this, bro? Donald Parham, Duvernay, Darnold, and Hardy for your last spot in a 14-team league. What the hell is this, dude? What am I looking at? Gun to my head. Gun to my head, Devin Duvernay, but I don't know. Man, I would have taken pick 100 Kadarius Toney if he was there for us. So let's think. I don't love what's on the board. What kind of stacks are we setting up here? I think this might be a Charbonnet pick. Let's take Sharb. I don't really have a strong lean anywhere else. It's a really balanced build here. I'm trying to think through like kind of some of the correlations we're trying to build here. Where we have like Rams, Giants. Didn't really present itself. I will say Daniel Jones as our QB2 would be pretty fun in this build. So Pollard. So we could get like some Detroit. We could go like Goff, Laporta, something in that range. We could go Ayuk to Purdy as our QB2. I'm just kind of thinking through what we're going to do with this second QB spot. Worst case scenario would be like Mac Jones on the other side of this Gabe Davis game. I guess Tannehill's an option. We got options. So don't roast me for drinking coffee through a straw, bro. I'm that guy. People are saying Swift was catching passes in practice. Okay. The issue, I don't even like Swift. I haven't been drafting a ton of him. It's just like, I don't think they're going to use running backs in the passing game, no matter, who the guy is back there. You said Swift works great on this roster? Yeah, I agree. You said the answer is Richie James. Yeah, I kind of like Hardy as well. Hardy is interesting. He was somebody that before he changed, I think he might have like legally changed his name, Deontay Hardy. He was like Deontay Harris for a second. I think he was Deontay Harris when he was on the Saints. I don't know what the story was with that. I think I got to change my name on you guys. Hit him with a Meta World Peace, Freedom Cantor type beat. To change it up. Hardy is interesting though. He was fun. His per route stuff was really strong on the Saints, but that stuff is usually a trap. Seems like kind of a gadgety slot guy. Probably competing with Khalil Shakur for the slot role. I'd say Shakur is probably the favorite, but I do think Hardy is interesting. Bijan creeping up in ADP or just high in this draft? No, just high in this draft. He's still going like late first at this point. You're telling me I have 2 first names? I never thought about it like that. I guess Stewart's a first name. I will say the only Stewart first name I know is Stuart Scott or Stuart Little, I guess. But Stuart Little, I don't think really counts. I don't think his last name's Little. Maybe it is though. Said Hardy's his stepfather last name. Okay, so now I feel bad. Now I feel bad for saying anything about it. God damn it. That's a pretty cool thing he did. Now I feel bad. This guy Cheswick, man, starts 3 running backs in a row and then jumps on Dobbins and then jumps on James Conner. He's 1 running back away from probably killing this team. I'm going to be honest. Ron Edwards-Helaire. I think that's probably in the I think that's probably the favorite for what I'll change my name to. What position players would you take over A.J. Brown in Dynasty? Just took over an orphan and can't justify his scoring with his early second price tag. Probably Lamb, Jefferson, Chase, Bijan, end of list, but I'm not sure. I have to think about it. In a home league, you have pick 9. Are you going with Diggs and A.J. Brown? It's tough to say, man. It's tough to say. Those type of questions are always tough for me to answer, man, because I'm always reacting to whatever the board is doing, and I know that's such a cop-out answer, but I have my rankings, patreon.com/Ron Stewart. I'm simply taking the best player in each of the first 2 to 3 rounds and then kind of adjusting from there. This is a huge value on Evan Ingram, but we already have Andrews, and I'm not sure it's really worth. Yeah, we're going to take Daniel Jones as long as of course, the bye week freaking. We're going to go Nico Collins, actually. He's on the other side of our Treylon Burks stack. We get an option to stack Nico Collins with CJ Stroud if we'd like to. Fine with that pick, I'd say. I've never hopped in a Ron BPM. These other lobbies are so much juicier. You said, Ron, what's your percent on Musgrave? It's not high. It's not high. I'll tell you that. It's not high, even though I do like Musgrave. I think my dynasty exposure on Musgrave is very high. So we're going to be back on the board here. So Ingram went. Wow, that's a great Lawrence Ingram stack that this guy just pulled off. You got Ingram way past ADP. Huh. So Freiermuth goes. He was very much in consideration for me there. Juju, Lazard, Dobbs. I'm going to go Rondale. Just hammer another wide receiver. Fine with Rondale. Not stoked about it. I think kind of any of the wide receivers you could have taken here. I don't have a strong opinion on any of these guys. None of them really had a ton of correlation. Could have maybe made the case. Like, I would have loved to go Daniel Jones if he didn't have the same buy as Lamar, sadly. Why just get hit with the Nico? Yeah, man. We're still drafting him. We're still drafting him. You said you need more Musgrave? Trust me, I love Musgrave. I love Musgrave, but he's like, the thing is, I'm not setting up a ton of Packers stacks. I guess I don't know. And if I'm going to take a last round tight end, I'd kind of rather take like a Mayer or take somebody that's stacked to one of my QBs. But I promise, in Dynasty, I have a lot of Musgrave. I think he's a really fun prospect. He said, did anyone see Jimmy Graham sign with the Saints again? I did see that. I was assuming that he was just going to sign and retire, but it seems like he is going to suit up. I mean, it was a 1 year. I was expecting like a 1 day deal, but it's a 1 year. When is the last time a rookie tight end has been like top 5 in the position? I'm not sure that's the question to ask when it comes to rookie tight ends. Julie Moore, when is the last time a rookie tight end has been impactful? Because you could ask this, you could say the same thing about wide receivers, you know. Wilson didn't finish top 24. I don't think Amon-Ra St. Brown finished top 24 in their first seasons, but the thing about rookies is they can give you impactful stretches that really matter for fantasy. I know Hawkinson had a couple spike weeks in his first year. I know Evan Ingram was pretty damn good in his first year. I think Gronk was. I think Aaron Hernandez was. Aaron Hernandez, bad guy. Bad guy. But also a pretty bonkers football player. He has like one of the highest point per games for a tight end through like his first 3 years of all time. And that was next to greatest tight end of all time, Rob Gronkowski, or top 3 minimum greatest tight end of all time. Out of like 12 personnel, not even playing a full diet of routes, was still a monster. People are saying Juju. I can't get there with Juju, man. Juju's a brutal button to press, I think. I just got to say, I don't mean to be that guy. I've answered this question probably 2 or 3 times so far this stream. But whatever the discount is, I'll be scooping it up pretty much. He said, "Love Reed Musgrave is such an easy stack." It's an easy stack. I'm just not crazy about Jordan Love. You are right though. An ugly stack like Karane's team that won last year was not pretty. It was a pretty ugly team. Had like Bucks and Panthers and Patriots. So let's see. We could use a running back here. We could use a quarterback as well eventually. I don't think we need to just yet. Could get Stafford as our QB2. Get Purdy. Yeah, we got some options here. Oh, do we have some options? We'll say I'm not crazy about what's on the board right now. I will say that much. We probably go Warren here. We have like Dallas, Carolina. None of that really makes a ton of sense. Let's go Warren. I'm not crazy about Warren, but we have like, I don't know, Sharp on the Seattle side. Kind of need to bolster the running back room a little bit. I'm all right with it. Love or Pickett in Dynasty? Probably Pickett. Just that they invested him more recently. But it is tough to say. I think they both kind of suck. You said Pats have some strong defenses in the division this year. Finns, Jets all have good defense. Yeah. I don't know about the Bills' defense, though. Bills' defense might regress. It's tough to say for certain. what defenses are you going to be good going into a year? Just because there's so much variance year to year with defense. Favorite deep superflex QBs? Man. So I think I take Gallup here if given the opportunity to. If not, I can make the case for Higbee and then see if we can get Stafford to come back to us. Yeah, so of course Gallup goes. So Stafford's ADP is 155. We're going to try and push him. All right, we're going to take Higbee. We're taking Higbee. We're done at tight end. And we'll see if Stafford gets back to us. If he doesn't, I don't really care. It's not a big deal. We took Higbee to set up the double stack to Stafford, but again, we'll see. You said Crane's team was definitely ugly, which is good to learn from, but a Bills-Bengals stack with some good Panthers probably would have won. This is very true. So just drop my BBM in the Discord if y'all want to check. Plug the Discord now. Yeah. We have a free Discord that I don't plug a ton, but it's in the description. You can click the link. I'll take you to the Discord. And everybody that's like, subscribe to this channel in the community are all in there, bouncing stuff off of each other. We have like channels in there called like On the Clock and stuff. You can just sort of get advice in there from a lot of guys that kind of think similarly to I. So it's a great spot to be. Link is in the description. Ron, say it. It's Trey Lance. Yeah, I actually kind of like Jarrett Stidham. It is Trey Lance. Like Dusty Superflex QBs. We're talking like Dynasty. I don't hate like a Jameis. Don't hate Tannehill either. I think here's a hot take. Here's a hot take for anybody out there that wants one. If Jimmy Garoppolo was this year's Geno Smith, I don't think I'd bat an eye. We're just like a guy who's going like pretty much undrafted in all of fantasy leagues, and then he becomes like a guy you can stream off of waivers pretty consistently. It wouldn't shock me. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but wouldn't shock me. You can project Jimmy G to do all right. Where is the Celtic fan? Jacob, he's going to come on the once we're done with this. Once we're done with this, Jacob will be in here. You said agree, but those guys don't have a guy behind them that will take the job once healthy. You guys are talking through Dalvin Cook, Mixon, Jones. I think the issue, to me, Aaron Jones is not in the same tier as Mixon and Dalvin Cook when it comes to being washed. I think the difference is that Mixon doesn't have Breece Hall behind him, and Aaron Jones is actually good at football. That would be my take. Really? I didn't know that someone did this. You're saying that somebody analyzed the teams and said the Bills, Cincy teams didn't have a super high likelihood of beating Crane? Interesting. Of course, dude, here's the thing. Crane got $2 million for winning. So at the end of the day, nobody can tell him shit. But I think it would bother me a little bit that there's like a slight asterisk, But I mean, like the whole fantasy community like last year got affected by it. So it's like the nature of the beast, I guess. All right, can we get Stafford to come back to us? He should. I don't see anybody on the board who has a reason to take Stafford, but we'll see. Dude, you nearly could have won Puppy 3 with a full Henglad? What the hell is Henglads? You make me... Did I just say a bad word? You like Baker? I don't mind Baker. You said, I love the channel. All right, so let's go Stafford here. All right, so there's Stafford. Now we are done at QB and tight end. All right, so this is a pretty fun team. This is a very fun team. In a perfect world, we get some Giants and some Dolphins. So let's like Rams. Is there anything else we should stack with Stafford? Do I think about stacking with Stafford? Fellas, I'm not taking Puka Nakua. I hate to tell you, but he's just not going on my fantasy teams. And I dare him to prove me wrong. I would love to be wrong about Puka Nakua, but I cannot quite get there, fellas. I cannot do it just yet. And then we have Ravens, so we could definitely go with like a Gus or a Gordon, Aguilar, Duvernay, and then we also have Dolphins, so we could definitely go with like is Mostert still around? No, but we have Jeff Wilson. All right, so things are looking a-okay, I would say. This is probably just going to be a 2-6-8-2 team, I think. Could make the case that it could be a 2-7-7-2, but I think 2-6-8-2 probably the way we go here. Probably the way we go. Even though Rashid Shaheed is looking me dead in the face, daring me to take him right now. And don't get me wrong, I would love to. I would love to take Rashid Shaheed, but I'm not going to. We'll take Jeff Wilson. We'll get a nice little bring back on the Baltimore stack that we have with Lamar to Andrews. Danny, peep this team, dude. You're gonna drool, bro. We go Cup at the. Let me service the audio listeners as well. We go Cup, Pollard, Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson through the first 4 rounds. We stack Andrews to Lamar, no big deal. We get Pollard to fall, no big deal. Pretty crazy. Now I will say from there on, it's not that crazy. I think it was just a crazy start through 4. Then we go Ayuk, Gabe, Burks, Swift. Swift fell a little bit here. Charbonnet, Nico Collins, Rondell Moore, Jalen Warren, Tyler Higbee, Stafford. So we get Stafford to Higbee and to Cup. We get Lamar to Andrews. And then we get Jeff Wilson as a bring back in the Ravens game. Luciano 6 point. Does that warrant paying up for the big 3? Otherwise, I'll probably take the discount and take Burrow or Jackson. You could probably just take the discount. You don't really have to. Yeah, exactly. Like he won $2 million. Like no one could tell him anything. Might as well take Van Jefferson over Puka. Van Jefferson already went, but yeah. We got Danny in here. You said you meant Bengals. No, it makes sense. I thought you were making. I thought you were making me. I thought you were trying to get me canceled. Nah, I'm manifesting, bro. The 3 mil is mine, bro. Dude, I gotta be like, dude, if I won the 3 mil, it'll almost be bad news for you guys. Like I don't really know. Like I don't know what my life would be if I won the 3 mil. Or the 3 mil. Probably would still do this, but I don't think I'd post as many videos as I do. I'm not sure though. Wow, Danny, you're actually ahead of me. You're actually ahead of me in BBMs right now. I think this is maybe like 43 for me. I'm trying to push. I'm really trying to chug along here. I got too like sidetracked with all of the puppies and the poodles and the Pomeranians to the point now where this is BBM number 45. So I'm a little bit behind here. I'm not gonna lie. All right. Now's our time to shine. I don't know why I said that, but 2562 is where we're at. Do any of these help our correlation? We do have San Fran, Washington that we could sort of play on here. So let's go with a falling Curtis Samuel. Man, Samuel versus Reed is tough. Samuel versus Reed is tough, but I'm going to go Samuel just because we have some Sam Fran correlation there. Honestly, a coin flip to me. Both of them were pretty big values there. Dude, I got to be honest with you guys, man. Like, I started a BBM this morning, dude. I started a BBM this morning, and it like froze through 5 rounds, and it resumed during this draft that we're doing right now. And pretty much my entire team was auto drafted. I'm hoping it gets scrapped. I think it will get scrapped, but just something sort of weird. You said you're going on a press tour, then becoming a thought leader. Yeah, I did. I'd go on a press tour. Maybe go to Disney World. I'd have to hit him with the Super Bowl winning speech. So let's go. I gotta be honest. I probably prefer Slayton to anything else in this range. I'm trying to think through Miami Rams. Do we have anything else that like? Is there any other correlation here that makes any kind of sense? Rams, Giants. Let's go Slayton, I guess. I'm not crazy about Slayton, but you know, he's someone that could have a spike week as a bring back in that Rams game. I feel sort of fine about it. Yeah, Pete's at 100. I'm not there yet. Oh, I saw that. I did see that the other day where he started Hill, Lamb, Higgins, Debo, DJ Moore. Yeah, jeez, dude. That's brutal. You only have one BBM entry done so far, Chris? Ron would be rolling around in a Bugatti in Dubai while the rest of us scraping the internet for someone else's. Yeah, if I won $2 million, I'd probably be going 140 in my Lamborghini. Got coffee all over my face. What'd you say? Did you see a cautious tweet? I saw the Kadarius Toney stuff, which was hilarious. You said Ron literally just copied my team. You said you dropped the team in the Discord, right? Where in the Discord? Rate my roster, maybe? Nope. Chris, I think you're underselling yourself, man. If you're watching a lot of the streams me and Pete do, probably better than a lot of the user base. But I do get like if I didn't, you know, if this wasn't my job and I could justify the money I spend, I'd probably just hang around and do the no rake low stakes contests and just blast off from user. Wow, so we have the same freaking team, Rohan. By the way, I don't know how to say your name right. Rohan? Let me know if I'm butchering that. I have a channel named Underdog Drafts. Yeah, this is a really similar team, dude. Lamar Stafford up top. You also took Slayton as a bring back. That's a fun team. All right, let's see. Why do you think consensus doesn't view Stephon Diggs inside that top tier wide receiver group? He consistently goes like 7-8, and his production is so clean. I think the issue with Diggs is it's like the other guys have passed like wide receiver 1 overall. I think Diggs' ceiling is a little bit capped. it's tough for him to have like he would probably have to have like a crazy touchdown year for him to truly get there. But it's tough to say. Like I guess it's a decent point, but to me, I wouldn't have him in that top tier just because I don't think he has the same access to the other guys as like, you know, those crazy high ceiling weeks or high ceiling like seasons overall. I will say I wish I thought a little bit more about the running back I'm going to take here. Am I going to take dusty ass Melvin Gordon, dude? Huh. I think we're going to go with a pretty random pick here. And we're going to go Keontae Ingram. Just a one-off Keontae. Just for funsies. And we have Philly and Arizona on this team. So that was probably the play. I'm kind of happy with it. All right. Geez, there are workers outside of my house right now. Literally on my doorstep. People are saying James Robinson. All right, so let's see. This is the team. For all the audio listeners, we'll just kind of rip through it real quick. We went Kupp, Pollard, Andrews, Lamar, Ayuk, Gabe Davis, Burks, Swift, Sharp, Nico Collins, Rondale Moore, Jalen Warren, Tyler Higbee, Matthew Stafford, Jeff Wilson, Curtis Samuel, Darius Slayton, Keontae Ingram. Kind of a nice little team here. It's nothing too crazy. I'll be honest, it's nothing too crazy. But it's a sweet team, I would say. Dude, I'm praying that this thing gets canceled. I'll show you guys this team in a second, but this is nice. 2682. It looks good. We do have Jacob chilling in the hopper. We'll bring him on here in a second. I just have to sort of get on my P's and Q's when it comes to the StreamYard stuff. So let's get this going. Oh, Jacob has gotten up from his desk. All right, what's going on, brother? Wait, hold on. I can't hear you for some reason. Maybe you're muted, or is it my side?
Improvement.
Oh, there you go.
Can you hear me now?
What's going on?
I think I might have been muted. My bad. As soon as you were about to bring me in, I was like, oh shoot, I have a fan on. So it's just gonna be like the entire time on the stream. So I had to go shut that off. Apparently my mic was muted. So a bit of a mess
your
this morning,
comfortability.
I guess. Yeah.
I was gonna say, man.
Mess, but...
I was gonna say I wanted to before we hop into a draft here, I want to see if I can pull up this draft board, but this best ball draft you did last night.
Yeah, the NFC one. Yeah, that was fun. That was that was during the ship chasing episode. I figured I would pop in. This was like my dream format. Like when I saw they were doing a 34 round draft, I was like, hell yes. Like it's funny because Pete even called it out on the show. Like there was one point where I snap picked Keyshawn Vaughn and Kyle Trask, and Pete was like, he would snap pick Keyshawn Vaughn. This is the wet dream format for a Dino Virgin, and it was like it was rude but true. Yeah, that is exactly why I joined this draft, because I was like, this would be a good format for a Dino Virgin. But yeah, I love 12. The Ship Chasers with the 8. So in this third round reversal, PPR, best ball, 6-point passing touchdowns. Otherwise, it's kind of the same deal. So I started out pissing with a nice stream off the rip. We had AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. That Chris Olave pick, of course, being the 301. Hawkinson, Christian Watson. And
Hawkinson's what I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah.
Hawkinson was surprising to me. You took him, like 412 here?
412.
You took him over, like, McLaurin. You took him over DJ Moore, who in your rankings is pretty high. And I feel like you might have had in your rankings for a little bit, like even like Pitts, Kittle over Hawkinson, or like maybe Pitts over Hawkinson. I'm not sure. So I'm curious, like, have you sort of come around on him, or is this just kind of like a mix in?
I've not really come around on Hawkinson. Part of this is just that he is, I think, a much better pick relative to Kittle and Pitts in full PPR than half PPR. Like, I think that's really the case. And then a lot of it is just structural. Like looking through this draft with 34 rounds, it's like you're just going to get a lot of shots at running backs and wide receivers. for me, I was really prioritizing getting that tight end and that quarterback within that first year. And I didn't really want to take Hawkinson necessarily, but honestly, I was kind of stuck on that turn. I did not want to start 5 straight wide receivers. Like that just felt like diminishing returns to me, and it felt like it would leave me kind of inflexible the rest of the draft. So in terms of what to do with that other pick, like I was really open to take Herbert in that slot, but he ends up going. They end up taking him. Actually, the Ship Chasers guys do. So that point, I'm like, I could take a running back. There wasn't any running back that separated for me. Like I didn't really want to take. I can't remember if it was Mixon or Ken Walker and these guys that I was out on. And then I looked at it. It was kind of Hawkinson, Pitts, Kittle. I was like, I don't even know if I'm even going to get Pitts and Kittle back to me. I don't think that I would have. If I remember correctly, Pitts, Kittle, Waller were all gone before my next pick. So it didn't really matter what tight end I took. And I figured, you know what, I'm not going to have that much Hawkinson exposure. Like, I'm going to have a lot of these other guys. Like, I don't mind the idea of kind of having a Hawkinson in a format where I think it just kind of lines up in like a high stakes team. So, plus the other aspect of it was I'm starting to think about quarterbacks I was going to set up. And I thought Cousins was a smash in this format with the 6-point pass touchdowns.
Yeah.
He ends up going way ahead of ADP, but that was a potential like QB2 option for me that I was looking at. So.
It's interesting, dude. 34 rounds. What the hell is this, dude? You guys are taking kickers and defenses.
Yeah, you got to fit in. That's the crazy part. Like, so it's the lineup is 1 quarterback, 1 tight end, 1 kicker, 1 D, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex. So the kicker and defense become onesie positions. So you really need the way it works is you have 32 kickers, 32 defenses, and it's team kicker.
I love that about NFFC too.
Yes, that is nice. So 32 kickers, 32 Ds, of course, 12 teams. So realistically, you're going to get 8 teams that are not going to get a third of one of them, or less than 8. But then it's that subset of that 8 is going to wind up getting 2 of both. So I wound up getting 2 defenses. I could have actually had free kicker, free defenses. I could not turn down Jaden Reed. I thought he was like an outlier pick where he ends up coming to me. So I ended up sticking on 2 defenses, which were Miami and Cincy. I had I think 1 defense left or 2 defenses left that I could have taken, and they were both like horrendous. And I don't know, maybe I'll come to regret that pick. But I was like, I don't know if this defense adds that much. It was like, I think it was like the Texans was like the only defense I got to take in. And I was like, I don't know how often they'll get in my lineup. So. Wound up going away from them. We got 3 kickers.
It hurts my soul to see. It's like, what is this? 25th round, Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Is this what it's come to?
Yeah, I did take CEH. The 20th round. I'll be drafting next Wednesday too in this. I thought the format was really fun.
Similar format? That's interesting.
Exact same format on Wednesday. Yeah, it's the same.
I will say as well, update on the exposures. Clyde is moving down, baby. He's moving down. No longer number 1. No longer number 1.
Here's the concern that I have with Clyde. I have several concerns with Clyde, such as his talent, but specifically, if Deneric Prince is like a thing, Clyde's inactive on game day in that scenario, right? Or cut.
Do we like Deneric Prince?
I don't like Deneric Prince, but he's interesting, right? Like he catches some passes and he's fast, so he's at least mildly interesting.
Let me pull up this player profiler.
Pacheco is active on game days, and McKinnon has a role, so he's active on game days. So to me, it's Prince versus CEH for that 3rd slot, and CEH just got passed up by a 7th rounder last year, so why not get passed up by a UDFA?
Huh.
It would hurt me. I'm actually really overweight Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I have him in this NFFC. I have him in the Scott Fish Bowl. I'm actually pretty invested in Clyde, but I'm trying to wean myself off.
Yeah, I'm still taking a decent. I took him in. I think I took him in the last NFFC high stakes one I streamed on Tuesday. If he's just there too late, I'll cut him if it's, I don't know, if Deneric Prince is active. At least I'll have a free look on that Thursday. So I'm a big brain. I'll have a free look. I can see Deneric Prince is on there.
There we go.
All right. So with that being said,
I'm starting to draft Deneric Prince. I think I took my first share of Deneric Prince in like a whatever it was, a poodle the other day.
I might have to start taking him especially in the NFFC when it's 20 rounds. probably worth like a 20th round pick and just see what's up.
Yeah, it's so funny. It reminds me so much of last year, where at first I was like all over. Well, at first I was like, I'm going to take all of these running backs. I'm taking Clyde, I'm taking Rojo, and I'm taking a ton of McKinnon. And then it was like, I'm not going to entertain this Pacheco silliness. And then towards the end, I was like, okay, fuck, I guess I gotta like take this Pacheco guy. Try to fill it up.
Him steaming up was crazy last year. Like he was somebody that was free, and then he was like you would see him go like 8th, 9th round in some like
I didn't
like
take
high
him all the way up
stakes.
there, but
oh no,
I tried to catch him on the way up a little bit, but I didn't get enough. I didn't get as much as I wanted. Like normally, that's the thing. Like normally, I try to play it with these guys where it's like, I'm not going to take the shot on like who I'll use as Isaiah Spiller. I'll use an example, right? Like I'm not really drafting Isaiah Spiller or Josh Kelly now in the 18th round because it's like, okay, the benefit of them now is that they're unique and they're totally free, but like it could be Kelly, it could be Spiller, or it could be a free agent. Like we just don't know. So I'd rather just wait until we get some solid reporting that like it's going to be Kelly or it's going to be Spiller or they've signed someone. And then if I have to take that person in the 15th round, I'll just do it. Like the opportunity cost isn't that different. I'll just take them in the then. It'll still be unique. You still have all these drafts of people not drafting them. So that's kind of how I play these. But Pacheco got away from me, man. That went from free to the 8th.
Yeah, very quickly.
Yeah.
I will say it's interesting. I've been sort of adverse to it's interesting that like I don't know, like everybody has seen. I think Sherman did a thread on it, but you see like Olabisi Johnson over Jefferson and all of these like random reports. But it seems like you think there's some merit to kind of the running back reports, at least when it comes to kind of like the ambiguous situations with like the RB3s and that kind of game.
Well, I mean, obviously it's never like a certain answer for the whole season, right? Like I think with training camp reports, I think some people take the wrong lesson about it. Like when people say training camp reports are useless, they're like, it's just a lie. It's like it's usually not like lies. It's just that it's usually the expression of where they are at that period in time. So it's like where you open up training camp isn't necessarily where you end training camp. Where you are in week 1 isn't necessarily where you are in week 10. And the other thing with running backs too is sometimes you have to really look at what the coaches are saying, right? There's a difference between who plays the second most snaps in a backfield when the starter's healthy versus who is the guy who benefits the most when the starter gets hurt. So that's not the same guy. So it's complicated, but yeah, I do think like all things considered, if the guy's going to be the backup in the first week of the season and he's like being clearly treated as the backup through the preseason, like I'd rather take the shot on him than the other guy if I think the talents are relatively similar. Like might be a different case in like the Jets case, right? It's like I don't expect Izzy Abanikanda to open the season ahead of Michael Carter, but I do think if Breece were to just like not be right off the ACL or were to get injured, I just would rather bet on the talent Izzy to eventually overtake Carter. So I don't care as much about Carter being listed ahead of Izzy right now. But like the Chargers backups, like I think they both suck. So if they're just, whoever, tell me which one is ahead right now. Like tell me which one you hate more, and I'll just bet on the guy who's ahead right now and hope that objects in motion stay in motion.
It's an interesting objects in motion stay in motion. Inertia, I guess, if you will.
Yes. Yeah.
Man, so we got the 12th spot, man, which is pretty brutal. But I'm curious to kind of see how you want to
2 straight drafts in the 12 for me.
Look at that. Chubb at 110, man. So those second round prices won't be around much longer.
Oh, that's great for the 12, baby. Let's go. Let's go. We're picking 11th now.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for the 10 spot.
I would love if this guy could not go. Take something crazy.
Brown Lamb. I'm just gonna like
take something crazy. Go crazy. Take JT, brother.
No, he's not going crazy. Okay, so I think we have some interesting options. Like, I think we can do the Lamb Amon-Ra game stack if we want to. But if we want to set up multiple games, I mean, obviously my like favorite player here is Adams. So I would either do the Lamb St. Brown or I would do Adams.
Let's definitely take Lamb. You think if we take Lamb, it has to be Amon-Ra here?
No, I don't think it has to be. Like I think I mix it around. Like Amon-Ra is my fourth favorite of these wide receivers, but sometimes I will take him with Lamb. I pretty much only take Amon-Ra this turn with Lamb, but all my
In a
Amon-Ra's
vacuum,
are
you
with
probably
Lamb,
prefer
but not all my
Adams.
Lambs are with Amon-Ra, if that makes sense. In a vacuum, I'm Adams, then Wilson, then Brown.
Let's go Adams. You like that? All right.
Yeah, I like that.
I've been taking a lot of Adams too.
I think pretty much every Amon-Ra St. Brown that I have at that turn is either with Lamb or with Pollard.
Yeah, me too.
Because I just don't like him as much as Wilson, Lamb, and Adams straight up. So I pretty much only take him when I want to build out that correlated stack. I also like Gibbs so much, and I don't even feel like I need to take St. Brown to get the correlation. I can usually just take Gibbs the next turn and take him with Lamb.
I think there's some merit as well that like I actually love Amon-Ra St. Brown, but there's some merit that he's probably a much better pick in PPR.
Yeah,
it is. I don't know. It's like sort of overplayed the whole half PPR versus full, but in a half, I probably prefer Adams. You're saying that you probably prefer Wilson over St. Brown too. I saw you took Wilson. I saw you took Wilson yesterday. I think you took him over what?
Take him over St. Brown. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you took him over maybe Devontae too, or no? Devontae might have gone first round in that draft.
Devontae went 10th.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Devontae went 10th. Lamb went 11th, I believe. So I actually had AJ Brown fall to me at the 12, which is fun because I'm not taking a lot of AJ Brown. I don't really take him at his ADP, but it was fun to get a share of him falling. And then I had Wilson versus St. Brown versus a running back was probably the main choice at that 2-1, and that was a clear cut Garrett Wilson for me.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson, dude. I'm as a Jets fan, like I'm seeing these. He had a clip yesterday where he was like going up against Sauce Gardner. There is something to that, man. Like I'm curious to know kind of, or I don't know. It's not like you need a take on this, but I do like the idea of like, like Jamar Chase and Jefferson going up against like Derek Stingley in practice at LSU and like Sauce Gardner versus Garrett Wilson in practice. Like I think it's good to have, reps against kind of the best of the best. It just sort of, I don't know. Of course, it's kind of like a very minor thing, but I do think it's a good thing.
I think it's a good thing too. I will say, because we didn't actually start this way, one of my other favorite ways to play it is like instead of doing the Lamb St. Brown at that turn, which is like the easy correlation, if you're planning to get Gibbs eventually, you can do Lamb Wilson. That whole game is on that turn. So you can go Lamb, Wilson, Gibbs. You can come back with if you're like a sick fuck and you want to take Amari Cooper, you can do that. But if you have standards, you can also take Elijah Moore later, ideally with Deshaun Watson, and then you can do like the Watson, Moore, Wilson, and then you still have the Lamb Gibbs connection, and you can bring in Dak or you can bring in Goff. So that's probably one of the things I really like to do. And then at the 5-6, you can do the Deontay JSN / Lockett ideally, and then you have like 3 games covered, all with this sort of QB window quarterbacks that you set up, and you can just kind of take whoever falls.
Yeah, 100%. I will say, like, I used to be more so like, if I took JSN Lockett and I whiffed on Geno, I was fine sort of taking Pickett, but it's like I'm starting to come like I just don't know. I don't know. I just don't know how Pickett.
I'm actually kind of into Pickett.
Yeah, man.
They play fast. That team like historically plays fast, and historically passes at like a reasonable rate. So I just think and they have good weapons. So I think like they're going to run a decent amount of plays. They play in a division with 3 other really good teams, and they're not a team that like necessarily always has a high pass rate over expectation, but they will respond to their game environment. Like they're not a team that is going to go into a shell. Like when they play behind, they will pass and they will run plays, and they're going to play behind. I mean, they're in the AFC North with like Ravens and the Bengals and the Browns. I think that the Steelers are solid, and you have those 3 strong offensive weapons. It's going to be super consolidated. Like Freiermuth, Pickens, Deontay are going to run every route. A-Rob is probably going to run most of the other ones. Calvin Austin is going to do some dinky whatever, but like those 3 are going to be running all the routes, and Pickett's going to be out there. Like I actually think Kenny Pickett's stats are super viable, especially as Purdy has risen in price. Like Pickett's kind of the only other guy in that range I'm open to, and I do take a lot of Deontay and Freiermuth, and I've been like I bag on George Pickens in Dynasty, but I think he's totally reasonable in the middle of the 7th round.
Yeah, for his price, he's probably all right. I guess you could say Pickett scrambles a little bit too, which is interesting.
Scrambling? Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. I will say we have 2 guys that I really like. We have 4 guys on the board that I actually really like.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, how do we feel about...
to see someone jump on the Cooper grenade right there at the 3.
Oh, yeah. The Cooper grenade.
3-8 Amari Cooper.
Somebody was telling me my double hero RB team was bad because I took Calvin Ridley over Cooper.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Gibbs would have been fun there.
Heartbreaking. Yeah, our other brother got our heart broken again right here. This guy, this wide receiver start. Oh, we're not. All right.
Brees so Debo is where I would go obviously. Here.
Okay, Brees, sure. I haven't been clicking Debo, so why not get some exposure?
Oh yeah, this is a dream. Now, I've been asked.
I might be. I'm not even sure if I've picked Debo.
All right, you got to get that up, brother.
No, I don't. I think he's a brutal pick.
All right, we'll get to Debo in a second.
I'm gonna here's my BBM exposure to Debo Samuel. 1%. I've drafted him once.
Here's the thing with Debo. He's been like viable as a receiver the last 2 years, where he's had like a 22% plus target share. Last year, the expected points per game was like top 12. He was just brutal efficiency wise. Like, why not bet on the efficiency to bounce back with a guy like Debo?
Yeah, if you top 12 and expected fantasy points per game, that last year, I like don't believe you. It's true,
dude. I'm telling you, his volume was good last year. Like, if you go Rotoviz expected points per game, he was at like 15, 16. Like he had his volume was there. He just wasn't efficient. And like for me, he's already shown like, and this is something that I've had a hunch about for a while. Efficiency isn't sticky year to year, but I think a player flashing efficiency, like some players just have an efficiency ceiling, others don't, if that makes sense. Like Najee Harris is going to come out and never have
PFF has them 21st for what it's worth. That sounds more reasonable to me.
Really?
But okay.
All right, Rotoviz has them higher than that, but I think I don't know. It's close. But yeah, he saw decent work last year. I don't know. I don't mind betting on the efficiency.
His peripherals were still fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he has a weekly ceiling. I don't know. He's fine when he falls there. Like, there was no one else there that I guess I really had like a major argument for. Like, I'd probably just rather take Travis Etienne.
Really?
I think I like, yeah. But I don't have like a major argument against like all the other guys that I like more than him. That spot like have clearly lower ADPs. So I think this is like a fine scenario to take Deebo Samuel. I haven't been taking him at his ADP just because I'm not clicking him before Gibbs ever. And I'm not clicking him before any other running backs. And I assume you like Ridley strongly prefer Calvin Ridley. Yeah. Between
Ridley's price I'm like against pretty outrageous here. Though.
I'm against him. Yeah, I'm okay with that though. Like I've been
Would you take him like 301 if you start Jefferson?
No, because
I think I think we get one more Zay Jones versus Calvin Ridley route running video. I think he's one more route running video away from being a 2-3 turn.
I agree, but I'm comfortable with my Ridley exposure. Like I know a lot of people have been like hard fading him sort of in our corner of the community. I have not.
I've been taking
Sorry?
I said I've been taking him a good chunk.
Oh, good. Okay. I haven't been hammering him just because I like all the running backs more.
Yeah.
But of that receiver group, like I'm 7% Ridley, 1% Debo, 0% Metcalf. So like the only of those three that I take at all is Ridley.
I see where I'm at.
But I'm usually taking Allen or Hurts or Henry or Ramondre or Jacobs or Gibbs or Hall.
So I'm 7% Ridley, 18% Debo, 7% Metcalf. I should probably that Metcalf number I would like to be a little bit lower than that, but I think I'll take him a little bit more early on, just sort of blindly like, oh, it's DK Metcalf and this is his ADP.
Yeah, when I type in MET, all I get is 7% John Mechie and 1% Cole Kmet.
God damn. I was just gonna say I've been asked probably like 4 or 5 times this stream how we feel about Brees Hall because it seems like Dalvin Cook might sign with the Jets today.
Don't care.
Yeah, I don't really care much either, but people were concerned
Is
about
he
it.
actually why did he get us out of the Jets today? What's this based off of the Rodgers?
Well, he's
restructure?
I think the Rodgers restructure, and then Dalvin Cook is meeting with the Jets in person today.
Okay, I hope
and
he
doing a
signs the
visit.
Jets. That's
I
my
think that's why
favorite
Brees
scenario.
just fell here.
Okay, great. I don't care. That's my favorite scenario is he signs with the Jets because, like, I have a lot of Miami Dolphins running backs bags, and if he signs with the Dolphins, like those bags become like actually worse. Not just their closing line value is worse, but like actually they're just worse. Yes, my Brees Hall closing line value is going to be shit if Dalvin Cook signs. I don't care. I will.
You could just double down.
I will make a KFC and double down. Like, yeah, I'm 17% Brees Hall currently. If Dalvin Cook goes there, I don't know. I'm not going to do it on a draft where I don't click him for the rest of the summer.
Did you see, dude? I was dying.
We had this conversation the last time I was on here, I think, but that's just, to me, the bet is health. So
yeah, exactly.
If Dalvin kills Brees, that means, like, if Dalvin kills Brees, that means Brees isn't healthy, which means Brees would have been a bad pick without Dalvin. So if the bet is on Dalvin, or the bet is on Brees being healthy, a healthy Brees beats Dalvin, and it's not as though I'm like.
Do you think it lowers like the volume ceiling though?
I don't, because like when we saw Brees Hall, he was the best running back in the league, and Dalvin Cook sucked. So I think if Brees Hall looks like that, I don't think they're going to just be like, no, we have to keep Dalvin Cook involved. Like I just don't. Like the AFC is competitive, man. Like
yeah, and I was saying too, they traded for James Robinson, the Jets last year, and he was dust out the gate, and they immediately flipped to Bam Knight. Like I don't think the Jets with a 1-year deal, like it's not gonna be. If somebody was comparing it to Zeke Pollard last year, all right, so, I would have loved Lockett here, man.
Okay.
I got nothing.
So Kittle wouldn't be bad because we were already playing that game. And then I mean Godwin's just like kind of fine at cost. Pittman's correlated, but kind of gross here.
Right, so this first one will be Kittle.
Let's just do that, yeah, because we're already playing that. Then Godwin's fine with me. We don't have any other correlation option, right? We have to scroll all the way down to Pittman. No, that's probably a little much for me. We could take Dotson for the game stack, but that seems like a little aggressive. I think just take the ADP value of Godwin.
Godwin's probably fine here. I was going to ask kind of like where, I know you were bullish on Dobbins early on, but sort of where are we at? You know, he's like on the pup. We don't know if it's like a chronic injury or if it's a contract thing. Like, I assume you're easing off a little bit.
I'm still bullish, but I'm going to take my foot off the gas in terms of where I take him. Just like he went, like if this was 3 weeks ago, I wouldn't even been a discussion. Like 5-6 turn, I'm taking Dobbins every single time. At this point, like I do need to be mindful of just like how bad my closing line value is going to be. So I'm going to take a lot of Dobbins still, but I'm probably trying to take him more late 6, early 7
area.
Yeah, like if it gets to a point where like I'm gonna still keep hammering him in pretty much whenever he's like, I know his ADP is falling, so it's kind of hard to gauge when he's actually behind ADP. But I think when he's in like that 6-7 turn range, I'm still smashing him every time. Just certain spots on the board in the mid 6, like especially if I have Hill or I have Waddle. I'm definitely clicking Dobbins in those scenarios still, but spots like where we're just in uncorrelated 5-6 turn, it's like even if I think he's still the best pick, I'm just gonna chill on a little bit. It's like I'm up over 20%, and I don't want to take like a massive bath there. So we'll see if everything resolves itself and he climbs back up the board. I can live with that. Like I still am gonna have a big position on him no matter what.
I kind of think it will. It's really.
I think it will too.
Saquon's deal is still so puzzling to me that he shows up to this Zoom call and then essentially it's like a
bails on the
it's project. Like a franchise tag plus $2 million is like essentially what it was, which I guess is like
less than that.
It's good money.
It's a franchise tag plus $900K if he hits a bunch of things that he didn't hit last year.
Yeah, I do like the incentives though. It's kind of an interesting, like 65
catches are really high.
Yeah.
Like he didn't hit a single one of them last year, and he had a good year, and he was healthy the entire year.
Dude, it's so sad, man. I saw a clip coming around on Twitter, just like it was like his highlights from, it was like a Penn State versus Iowa game where he was just going insane, and it's like Saquon hasn't looked like that in some time, to be real, and I don't know that ever comes back. That's
He
like
had flashes of it last year. There was like a couple times when he like was on the edge and he got that speed going, and it was like, whoa, like that. Remember he had, was it a toss play or a screen play in week 1 versus the Titans where he like got outside and he got the afterburners going? I felt something. I felt a little something. He had one run like that too. I think it was like a trick play against Green Bay in London, and he like was able to pick up some steam. And there was like a few flashes when he got moving. It was like, whoa, like he's back. But it felt like he really needed. Felt like his long speed was back where it was, but his like acceleration was a little slower. Like I only felt like we saw those flashes when he was already out on the edge. Whereas I feel like previous Saquon, it was like he could cut on a dime and then
he was so
like,
explosive,
and
man.
Boom. Like it was he could almost get there from a standstill. It was crazy. And I don't know if he quite got
like
there.
launched between like a center and a guard and outstep like a lineman and just like somehow make one step and he's already 4 yards upfield. Like crazy stuff. It's kind of a bummer. I was going to ask too. I did another high stakes. I've kind of had the itch recently, but Saquon went 10th overall.
Do some when we start doing some of these in like I don't know, maybe not even next week, but especially when I come back from Ireland and we do fire out a couple of these the last couple weeks of August, we should convert
100%.
some of these into high stakes. Anyway, you're saying?
I agree, and I want to do. I think we might have done one last year, like right after.
We did one last year,
but that was fun.
Let's do more than one. Yeah, I remember I did that from my law office.
That's actually I did an NFFC draft after the Thursday game, and that was the one where I did really well and finished 5th. And it was because I got Akers. I got Akers like ninth round because he was stone dead after the Thursday game where he remember Henderson played. So he was like a hammer for me down the stretch, and it was sweet. And that was a team I didn't think it was even going to make it. Like Ingram kind of just like carried me through in like week 14 or whatever. He had like his big weekend. I had a larger point I was going to bring up, and then I lost my train of thought.
We will get to that point after we pick.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about Saquon, but even though we just did, but.
I'm pretty set on what I want to do here, but I don't want to jinx it in case we got stream snipers. But I will.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page. I think we're probably gonna get the Joker. Dude,
why so serious?
Him DMing Akash is like an all-time fantasy Twitter moment. Like I can't believe
it's incredible.
It's insane. Like, get out of people's DMs, dog. Like, please, dude. Like, you can't be doing this. Like, apparently, like, he's
why so
all of Giants Twitter. It's so crazy, man. Like, it's such a shame.
Yeah, he's not quite right.
I also don't want to blow up his spot. I have a theory that he's bald. But we'll get to that in a second. I think, what were you saying? Deshaun Elijah Moore was the play here?
That seems pretty clear, yeah, to me. Right. Unless you have a better idea.
No, that's exactly what I was thinking as well.
Wait. Oh, yeah, no, we're good with that. I just, for whatever reason, I thought we had Garrett Wilson. Oh, but we have Breece Hall, so it's the same difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. It was because I talked about that Garrett Wilson scenario that then I incepted into my mind that was what we actually did, even though it wasn't. But we did take Breece Hall, so it's the same difference.
No, 100%.
Okay.
So I was gonna say, like, where now that Saquon's contract is resolved, like, where are you comfortable taking him at this point? Like, you take him over like JT Pollard?
Saquon?
Like, are you?
No.
I
will. Yeah, I never think that the contract was an issue. Like prior to all this.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really factoring that in, and I was taking JT and Pollard over him. I'm taking JT over him every time. I have like a decent amount of conviction about that. I will take Saquon over Pollard on cup teams, but for the most part, I prefer Pollard.
Yeah, me too. I think like Saquon's so tough for me because we were just talking about like the explosiveness and stuff. Like he was not very efficient last year. Like I hate to say this, man, because he is the prince who was promised. He's a player that I really enjoyed watching, but like he's almost starting to remind me of like when Zeke started to fall off a little bit, you know? like 2018.
I think that's
Zeke.
an over exaggeration. Like he was still 0.4 rush yards over expectation last year, which is not like earth shattering, but it's still a good number. Did have the 5th lowest success rate, but that's nothing new with Saquon. Like he's always
been boom bust.
Like Saquon, I think his receiving was overstated based on that rookie season with Eli. He's not actually been that high volume or that or that efficient of a receiver since. I think Saquon is like Ken Walker as a runner plus Josh Jacobs as a receiver. This is kind of like how I view him. But I don't think he's quite as explosive as Ken Walker anymore. He's probably like 90% Ken Walker now as a runner. And,
now, you can
like Josh Jacobs as a receiver.
You can definitely take these with a grain of salt because it's like PFF. But like this is a tweet I had in like April. Among 89 qualified running backs last year, he was 64th missed tackles forced per attempt. He was 40th in explosive run percent. He was 53rd in yards after contact per attempt, and then 62nd in elusiveness rating. Like, of course, those can bounce back. Efficiency is not going to be stable year over year, but it's like, I don't know. It's been a while since he felt like he was Saquon, I guess, where it was like, it was like special and he's efficient.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I think like
he feels like more of a volume play, I think.
He is
Saquon. And that's what kind of scares me, the whole like sort of Crane thing of it. You sort of want that access to like a crazy, crazy ceiling. Like, and it's crazy to say that maybe Saquon doesn't like, I don't know. After last year, I was all in on Saquon. And he just was never really a difference maker. He kind of just hovered around like 19, 20 points per game. He probably does it again. But I don't know. I don't know how he gets to that next level. But again, if there is no legendary running back this season, which is a decent chance, maybe he's
you're
fine.
Paying less for the volume plays than you used to, right? Like you're getting like the cheap volume plays, like the Rashad White and Damian Pierce in like the 7th instead of the 4th, and you're getting the really premium volume plays in the mid-2nd instead of the mid-1st, right? Where those kind of plays used to go. I will say in his defense, PFF grade was 80.3 was his overall grade. His PFF rushing grade was 84.9. That was, I want to say, 11th in the NFL last year. And like I said, rush yards over expectation was 0.4. So like those are both strong. They're not elite. Like when I posted what I thought the top 10 real life running backs were in the league. I didn't have Saquon on my list. People got very mad about that. That was the number 1 name in the comments people were upset about. I don't think that he is a great running back anymore, but I do still think he's like solidly a tier above like 2020 Zeke or current Dalvin Cook or like what we kind of saw Gurley disagree into. Like I don't think he's quite at that level. I don't think he's at the Camaro level right now.
Yeah.
Because he still has that, like, I mean, you see it even in the data, like low success rate, still has a really positive overall expectation. Like he still had long runs last year. It's just, he was still like when he was able to get going, he was still able to convert those into really explosive plays. It just didn't happen as quite a high of a rate. I do think that's because his burst has fallen off a little bit. And in terms of like tackle breaking and consistency, those have never really been his hallmarks. It's always been more of an explosion-based game. So, maybe even Ken Walker was a compliment. Maybe he's more like Miles Sanders as a runner at this point. Another Penn State guy, but
guy who used to carry his water bottles around.
Yeah. But it is still a good volume play. But like I said, I probably won't be taking him a ton. I was taking him a lot, like during the holdout stuff. Like it was fun to get him, in the early third round.
I got a Jefferson Pollard Saquon team.
Yeah, like it was fun to do. Like the Chase Mahomes Barkley teams; those were kind of fun. I have like a CMC Pollard Barkley, like that.
Oh yeah, 3 running backs out the gate.
I did do a 3 running back out the gate the other day.
I got to be honest. I don't have a lean for anything here. I have like a couple names I like. A lot of quarterbacks on the board. I don't know.
Oh man,
nobody's taking any of them.
Jalen Waddle. Well, I think one of the quarterbacks for sure, right? Like I think
you like Richardson or no?
Either
Dak?
way. So we have Dak with Lamb, and we could tack on a late Lion, and we have Richardson with no Colts, but we do have Adams. So I'm fine with either of those 2 quarterbacks, and then I'd probably just take Penny.
Yeah, I think that's probably the move. I'm thinking Richardson.
Sure.
Let's go Richardson. I've been loving taking Richardson. Let's go Penny.
Yeah, Dak and Richardson are actually my 2 highest owned quarterbacks. So I just that range.
I'm surprised you're in on Dak. I feel like you were very out on him last year.
I'm really in on Dak this year. He's like considerably cheaper than last year. I've always been a big time Dak defender from a real life standpoint.
Oh yeah.
And I've kind of just fluctuate in fantasy because at any time, especially in the dynasty market, but really across the board, seems like he oscillates between either the most expensive of the non-elite quarterbacks or the least expensive of the elite quarterbacks. And when he's the least expensive of the elite quarterbacks, I think that's like overrating his upside. And when he's the most expensive of the non-elite, I think it's underrating just how good he is as a real life quarterback. So that tends to be where I kind of oscillate back and forth on Dak. I do think people are knocking him too hard from the McCarthy thing. Like we've seen Dak be really good with Jason Garrett. I don't think that McCarthy's actually quite as bad as people say. I think he just says boomer things, but we have a history of him running 65 plays per game on offense with Aaron Rodgers. We have a history of him having a really high passer order of expectation with Aaron Rodgers, higher than the passer order of expectation that Rodgers has had with Matt LaFleur. And then you look at what they did this offseason. To this point, their current running back depth chart is Tony Pollard, Malik Davis, Ronald Jones, Deuce Vaughn. Maybe that changes, but even if it does change, it's July 27th. So like whoever they sign at this point, they didn't care that much about signing because whoever they signed at this point they could have easily lost. They bring back Zeke. Maybe they bring back Zeke, but they were clearly okay with a world where they didn't have Zeke on the team. And what else did they do? They went and traded for Brandon Cooks. So
yeah,
I don't think that this, other than like Mike McCarthy quotes, I don't think that this paints a picture of a team that wants to like run the ball a million more times. They also ran the ball a lot last year. Like they had a really low pass rate over expectation last year. Part of that was the Cooper Rush games. So I don't know. I think Dak's being over nerfed. And you also just get the benefit of, I think, all of these quarterbacks from Watson sometimes to Tua to A-Rich to Dak to Daniel Jones to Geno to Cousins just go in a range where I don't think any of the running backs and receivers are materially better than the running backs and receivers going 2 rounds later. So I just keep filling up on these quarterbacks.
I agree. I will say, I think it's probably short-sighted of me, but I do feel a little bit burned from this range of quarterbacks last year with like Trey Lance and Dak wasn't great and Russ wasn't great. But if you even go the year before that, I think like Brady was in this range and he absolutely crushed. So I guess it is kind of just like an ebbs and flows thing. So we're probably over.
Stafford was in this range that year. He was really strong.
Yeah. So it's probably a little bit of overcorrection to have Dak this low or.
Yeah, my top 3 right now are all in this range. Like I have Dak, my most rostered quarterback at 17%, A-Rich at 14%, and Daniel Jones 12%.
I'm trying to see. I don't know that I have. I think I probably have a little bit of Dak. I think I'm all right on Dak. Yeah, I got like 7% Dak right now. I got 15% Richardson. Then who else were you looking at in this range? Deshaun?
And then Daniel Jones, I have 12%. I do have Deshaun over market slightly, 9%, but he kind of goes right at the end of that other range. So, and the other issue with Deshaun is I never take Cooper. So I kind of have to double tap him with Elijah Moore most of the time.
Cooper is very 32nd overall here, huh?
It's just such a flaccid dick selection. Like it's not even an egregious selection. Like I actually have a pretty optimistic projection on Amari Cooper. He was good last year. I don't mean to knock him. I don't think he's some scrub. I'm actually quite into buying Amari Cooper in Dynasty, where you usually don't even have to pay a first round pick, and you're probably getting a pretty decent shot at 15 points per game. But
it's shocking he's not 30. he's under 30 somehow still.
It's true. It's just so I think he's gonna have a totally fine year. But it's just Amari Cooper.
It's tough because his entire career he's been in 19%, 20% target share range, and then that came up last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just a matter of, does that stick? Because I mean, if Amari Cooper somehow ends up with a 28% target share in this Browns offense, he probably does pretty well.
I really don't think that's gonna be the case this year.
I have a hard time seeing it as well.
It's not just Cooper, right? Cooper DPJ, David Njoku all performed way above their career average in targets per route run. And a big reason for that is they played Nick Chubb a higher percentage of the snaps than they ever had. And he just doesn't earn targets as a running back. So you're getting less targets in the running back position than you would have if you're playing Kareem Hunt or any other running back like in the league that these guys have played with before. And you're also playing Harrison Bryant a good amount as that second tight end. He's never earning a target. That's effectively a sixth tackle. And they were playing David Bell, who was
John Mackey
last year, right? So exactly. So you're just basically there's only 3 players that are ever getting targeted. Now you move in Elijah Moore into the mix. That's a massive upgrade over the David Bell slot. And not only that, but they're probably going to play more in 11. So you're depreciating those Harrison Bryant snaps. I think the targets become a little less condensed now, and you don't see that outlier.
I would have loved Rondale.
So we have a Jamal Williams correlation with Godwin, so I'd be fine with that. We really do need a running back. We only have and Hall. I think Jamal pairs well with Brees because you want that early season coverage, right?
Yeah, so let's go Jamal Williams. I don't have a lean at all for this pick. Mingo. I mean, Dobbs 12 picks past ADP. Not really that sexy though.
I'm fine with Warren or Tank. I'm fine with.
Let's go Tank.
Probably Warren or Tank for me. Yeah, I like Tank.
Yeah, let's go Tank. I want a little bit more of Tank. So I'm interested in that. I mean, of course, I feel like actually we've already hashed this out. That you like Tank and ETN. It's just a matter of, you don't have to draft them both on the same team, which I think is kind of important.
I mean, there's not really a third guy there, right? Like the only way that the third guy in that scenario is ever going to play is if ETN gets hurt or Tank gets hurt or if Tank just goes full TDP. But barring that, pretty good chance that it's a 2-man backfield. I guess there's outs to Hasty still keeping a long down and distance roll. That would be a pretty big bummer. That's where they both fail, I guess. But I don't know. They've been talking up Tank in the passing game more. You look at what they tried to do with that backfield. I think they took a guy with a similar usage profile to ETN. I think that they're going to probably lean on those two. And you get a contingent value of Tank Bigsby and you get the standalone value of ETN. I think it's I'm overmarking on both. I'm 14% Tank, 10% ETN so far.
I probably need more ETN. I haven't been taking, or actually, no, I have 14% ETN. So I'm actually just fine on ETN. I don't know why. Maybe I was drafting him when he was more expensive. I feel like I haven't been drafting him very recently. I don't know. But he is interesting. He is interesting. It really just comes down to if he can get the long down and distance roll ETN, but I don't know if he will. Because if he doesn't, he's kind of just Ken Walker. I mean, not in the same way, but of just being sort of between the tackles, no receiving upside. It's tough with him because I'm still willing to hold out hope that he gets a receiving role for probably it probably has to be this year for ETN.
It does.
Tiny catch passes.
It does have to be this year. Yeah, it is. There is a lot of similarity between him and Walker for sure. It's we have concerns about whether they'll lose the pass down role. We have concerns about whether they'll lose the goal line role. I mean, worst case for ETN is that he's who was it? 21 Miles Sanders or whatever. He's just dominating carries between the 20s and he's losing all the pass down work and he's losing all the goal line work. That's where it's a dead pick. But I think for going in the middle of the 4th round, I don't think you're paying too crazy of an opportunity cost. I would also just say that I don't think that the wide receivers going around ETN are any different materially than the wide receivers going around Ken Walker. So I don't think there's I've heard people say why would you pay more for Travis Etienne when you could get the same bet with Ken Walker later? I understand that it is literally later, but I don't think that there's any difference between the round 4 receivers and the round 5 receivers. So I don't think that there's an actual difference in opportunity cost between clicking Etienne and Walker. You should just take the one you like more.
Maybe I'm being arrogant, but I think the likelihood of Walker catching over 50 balls is
zero.
It's literally 0, whereas ETN, that upside case is there.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not taking any Ken Walker.
No, I haven't. I actually just drafted him for the first time a little bit ago. I don't think it's actually it hasn't registered in my exposures yet, but I did take him. He's been falling a little bit, and I'm just not very. I used to be an auto at the 5-6 turn. It used to be I would take Deontay and one of the Seattle guys, or I used to take Dobbins. But with Dobbins falling and Deontay rising, it's a little harder to get that game stack in at the 5-6, and I don't want to keep filling up Dobbins bags ahead of ADP as his ADP falls. So I've been like, I kind of have to pick somebody else this turn every now and again.
Yeah.
I don't really like George Kittle that much. I don't really like. I'm never taking Sanders or Alexander Madison. Like both the guys I took today, I don't really like. Like I don't really like Godwin or Kittle that much. So when Walker falls there, I'm just like, all right, I guess this is where I'll get some Walker exposure. So once these like slow puppies and slow poodles and slow palms all wrap up for me, I might wind up at 2% Ken Walker, and I'll mix him into some BBNs too.
The thing that scares me with Walker, I'm kind of curious your thoughts on this, is it almost feels like they brought in Charbonnet to take the high value touches, like catch the passes. And then you can say, I mean, like what, 6'1", 214 versus like 5'9", 209. Like you can say, I guess Walker has the BMI, but the success rate thing with Walker, you have to assume that like a boomer like Carroll probably just wants a more steady guy in short yardage situations.
That's what he's good at. That's what he's good at. He's good at like getting. He's a get what's blocked run.
Yep, and he catches passes, so it's just like, I mean, like
Charbonnet's like a James Conner.
Yeah, like and I would say Walker to me is kind of feels like last year's Miles Sanders, where I mean, and Miles Sanders rushed for like 1,200 yards and like 12 touchdowns, and he was like the RB 23 in points per game. Like,
people overrate his season.
Yeah, he like
I just argued in Discord the other day. I was talking about Swift, and like his like limited ceiling. Someone was like, Sanders was an RB1 last year. I was like, are you sure about that?
Yeah, 1,200 rushing yards and like 12 touchdowns, and he was just like the RB 21 in points per game. Like that's brutal.
So I agree with you. I think ETN is a better bet than Walker. And I don't think there's a difference in opportunity cost. So I think like if you like Walker more than ETN, that's fine. You can like him more than ETN. I don't for that reason. I just think there's a better shot of ETN materializing a pass catcher. But what I don't think is that there's a real difference in cost. Like I think like once you anyway.
This has to be Pierce.
Yeah, gotta be Alec Pierce. Gotta be Big Alec, right? But let's
that
leave the queue while we figure out this next pick.
After that, we could go
DPJ. Yeah.
So this is a Jakob Sanderson team if I've ever seen one.
These are my two boys right here. What's my combined exposure to these two players? It's got to be absurd. Yeah, it's combined 36% on Big Alec and DPJ.
There you go. I'm starting to come around on it.
17% Peoples Jones and 19% Alec Pierce.
Peoples Jones, man.
The Alec Pierce thing is because I have so much freaking Richardson.
Yeah, me too.
So, and like, there's no one good here. So every time I have all these, I have like 14% Richardson every time we get to this turn, and I'm just like, I guess Alec Pierce. Brock asked, by the way, we never asked this. He said, Jacob, when do you think A-Rich is starting? I stand by week 1.
Week 1? I was talking with Pete last week, and he was thinking maybe Minshew week 1. I agree as well. I think Richardson probably week 1. I know me and you were talking through JT versus Chubb. Like, what are we saying? Like rush touchdown share wise, you think is like reasonable for Richardson? I think he could score. Like I would set the Vegas line at like 7.5 rushing touchdowns for Richardson.
I'm gonna pull up the
8.5.
I'm gonna pull up the projectional here. I have Richardson at 7.3 and Taylor at 10.3.
Probably sounds about right. Sounds about right.
0.5 for Zach Moss.
0.5 for Moss. Jeez, dude. Do you have a take on RB2 there? Like if JT goes down, what's the hitchhiker's guide to playing that backfield?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep grinding the camp reports because it's hard to say. I think that it's probably Zach Moss who is the contingent bet. And I think it's Evan Hall versus Deion Jackson for who will play snaps when Taylor's active. So, like, I think that I don't think that Zach Moss is going to play when Taylor's going to play, because Zach Moss is not going to play on third downs. He's not going to play the 2-minute drill. But I think Evan Hall and Deion Jackson are kind of competing for that roster spot. But I could also see. I don't think Evan Hall will get caught or put through, or they'll try to sneak him on the practice squad because he was a round 5 pick. So I think that they will try to keep him on the roster, and I think that they're a little bit optimistic that he might be able to provide some special teams value. Deion Jackson definitely provides special teams value. So I think actually the most likely scenario is that Zach Moss is a healthy and active, but that if Taylor was to get hurt, then leads the team in carries next week. I can no longer hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now I can. Yeah, now I can. But now I can't.
Oh boy.
Or you're just not talking. Now I can. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Just keep speaking.
You for some reason.
Oh. Can't hear me. Can the commenters say if
this
they hear
is
me?
tough. It seems like you can hear me. I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on in my audio right now.
What the heck is going on here?
No, damn it.
All
right.
I don't know why I would have cut out randomly. Oh, well, Brock just said, okay, the commenters can hear both. So it's not my fault then. Your speakers are having the issues.
What the hell, dude?
Okay, this is gonna be like the Pat Kerrane stream when they had issues, and you had to like signal who you wanted them to pick. I guess I can use the private chat, but.
All right, I think you can hear me.
I can hear you. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep. All right, geez.
All right, there we go. Woo! That was some really good audio for a few minutes there.
I don't know what happened there. I was.
The chat could hear us the whole time, so
okay,
we're fine.
I don't know. I think I bumped into a cord and it screwed everything up, but we're all good. You had a little monologue there on Zach Moss versus Deion Jackson.
Yeah, I thought you were so offended at my analysis of Zach Moss that you were just like, I'm no longer.
No, I was frantically looking for what the hell just went wrong.
What are we gonna do here?
I don't have a strong take.
Ideas?
Wish I did.
Okay,
do we want a third quarterback? I feel like probably not.
I don't think so. I think it's a 2.
We do have Jacksonville if you want to go Hubbard.
6-8-2. Yeah, we definitely need some RBs. So let's do Hubbard.
I'm not opposed to getting Fournette here. 9 picks passes ADP.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna make a play for. I guess we shouldn't do Jeff Wilson because if we have Breece Hall, then we should bet on Cook being a Dolphin.
Yeah.
Or is that like 2 galaxy brains?
No, I think you're right on there.
Okay. Oh, what about the Conk Daddy for our bring back there?
Oh, I'm cool with that. Fun fact, my buddy in a bar, I live in Jersey. My buddy ran into Tyler Conklin and Michael Carter at a bar. He took a selfie with both of them. 2 guys.
Yeah, Michael Carter was going to make the roster.
No, dude. I was. He's not as
Mike, you gonna be on the 53 man?
He's a huge Jets fan, so it's pretty funny. They're probably the tier of football players that can walk around anonymously, and it's not a big deal. Obviously, Tyler Conklin and Michael Carter can.
Conklin looks like a Viking though. I think
Conklin does look crazy. Conklin was wearing a shoulder bag too, and I'll be honest, it was a pretty it's a place in Jersey called Morristown. It's a really young scene. I guess Carter's kind of young, but Conklin to me is like late 20s.
I don't know how old the Conk Daddy is. I feel like he was born 40 though.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he ran into him. I was messing with him. I was like, yeah, if I was there, I was gonna maybe I was like
27.
You got an agent. I don't know. Like, you renting or buying around here, brother? Like,
Do you remember Ty Conklin, the goalie?
the goalie
Yeah, he played
for
the
who?
Oilers for a while. Played for a lot of teams. He wasn't very good, but he probably most famously played
Like
for the
hockey.
Oilers.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Well, what other kind of goalie? Oh, I guess soccer.
I was thinking football.
He played so Dwayne Rollison was the goalie when Edmonton made that run to the Cup final, and then he got hurt, and then Ty Conklin had to come in and play goal for the rest of that Stanley Cup final. I think they were playing the Ducks.
Is this Gretzky years?
No. Like the
Oh,
2006 run.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that they had I didn't know that they had any success post Gretzky. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, they were the 8th seed, and they made it all the way to the Cup final with Dwayne Rollison, who was like this old kind of journeyman goalie, Rolly the goalie. And it was a really magical run. Canada was really excited about it, and then Rolly the goalie got hurt, and Ty Conklin blew it.
Really?
Yeah, he blew it.
And then they lost in that Stanley Cup.
Yeah, they did.
Man, all those Canada teams, man.
Yeah, he went behind the net to play the puck in one game. And then he just passed it directly to Rod Brindamore, and then Brindamore put it in the net.
And you're a Toronto fan, right? This is just Edmonton Oiler lore that you know about.
Yeah, I'm a hockey fan. I mean that was there was a run in the mid 2000s where it was every year a Canadian, an unheralded Canadian team unexpectedly went to the Cup final and lost. It was I think it was 3 out of 4 years. The Flames in 2004, the Oilers in 2006, the Senators in 2007. And then the Canucks went there in 2011, and then they burned the city down when they lost. But that was a little different because they were the 1 seed, and everybody kind of expected them to contend. Yeah. But we got there hasn't been a Canadian team that's won since 1993. And my attitude on the Canadian teams is very much I hate the Montreal Canadiens. I would rather any American team beat the Montreal Canadiens. But I would be thrilled to see the Oilers or the Flames win. I don't have any ill will towards them or the Canucks. And
my question is, how come you're not a Raptors fan?
For the country. I'm just naturally kind of a contrarian. So all the kids that I knew was into the Raptors. And I was I don't like them.
Especially growing up, dude. The Raptors were so cool. Probably when you were young.
Maybe when I was really young, but
really
when
young.
I was when I started caring about.
No, yeah, that was probably before your time. Was Vince.
It was a little before my time. I remember the Vince, but I don't even have any recollection of McGrady on the Raptors.
Dude, if I was 8 years old in Toronto, when I first started
tuning into basketball, it was the very end of the Vince, and then it was the kind of sad Chris Bosh era.
Bosh, yeah. I guess Jeff Wilson's coming back to us if you want to ungalaxy.
Yeah, Tracy McGrady left the Raptors when I was 3 years old, so he's
okay.
Not a memory bank. I'm very fine with Jeff Wilson. I'm fine with the Gus bus because if Harbaugh is going to be I literally don't know where J.K. Dobbins is. You'd have to ask him. Feel interesting for the Gus bus.
I don't mind a 2-7-7-2 builds here either as well. If you do just want to hammer 2 running backs here.
What's our wide receiver situation?
There goes Wilson. Lamb, Devontae,
Adams,
Debo, Godwin.
I am good with 2-7-2. I'm good with 2-7-7-2. Yeah.
You want to go Gus
some RBs? Let's do the Gus for one of them. Put him in the queue, and let's figure out the other one. I'm fine with Malik Davis in this build. We have Lamb. I'm fine with
Cleveland Jets. Indy Raiders.
I'd be fine with Kareem Hunt. I'd be fine with.
I haven't been taking a lot of Kareem Hunt, but I'm kind of down to here.
Oh, I really like Travion Williams. I don't know if you've
uncorrelated Travion. I'd be game.
I've just been hammering him, but I don't. I mean, it's not correlated, so I don't know if we need to. I'm fine with Malik too.
Let's go. I haven't been taking a lot of Malik Davis. Let's mix him in here. Why not?
All right, sweet. Let's do Malik Davison.
This is a very fun team. Lamb.
I haven't
Someone saying
taken
in
a
the
lot of Malik
comments-
Davis because obviously I don't want to take him with Pollard, and it's pretty rare that I don't have. Oh no! What are we?
Someone's saying something's wrong with
these
Garrett
comments are
Wilson.
bad. I don't like this. This is causing me a lot of stress. Apparent ankle injury.
I will do a
video right
I will do a
now.
24-hour hold my breath challenge.
He does not
if
look
Garrett Wilson's
great.
not okay.
Not looking great.
Here's the thing, though, man.
If it's an ankle injury, there's 6 weeks before camp. So as long as he didn't break his ankle, it's fine.
Yeah, it seems like he rolled his ankle. I remember what Jefferson had that scare 2 off seasons ago. He had a scare where he I think he landed on his shoulder on a jump ball. People were pretty scared. I think it was in our dynasty league. I took Jefferson in the first round, and then literally that day, he came down with something. But
it's July 27th. There's 6 weeks till week 1. So unless it's a brutal high ankle sprain.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like
Danny, you missed hockey talk,
okay.
man. Danny's a Montreal fan, and Jacob said pretty much he'd be down for all Canadian teams to win besides Montreal.
and Ottawa, to be fair. I also hate the Sens. But yes, Montreal's the worst.
And I'm pretty sure Danny's from Ottawa as well. I could be way off there though.
I think he's from the Hammer.
Or closer.
I want to say he's from Hamilton.
Oh. Is that closer or further? Which is closer?
Closer to what?
Ottawa, Montreal, etc.
Ottawa's closer to Montreal than Hamilton. But I think he's from Hamilton. I met up with him when I was in Toronto. He drove up and met me at a bar in Toronto with me and Toronto Dave.
Hey.
So
Toronto Dave.
We watched we watched Breece Hall's ACL tear together.
There it is.
That was bad. That was a real bummer. We were having a great time. We were at the Score in Toronto. I had a Caesar with hot wings on top of it. And we were having a good time. And then we watched Breece Hall clearly tear his ACL live, and then we felt really sad. And it got really miserable really quick.
There hasn't been a darker day since the last year. It's been some dark days though. All right, so this is a sweet team. We go Lamb, Devontae Adams, Breece Hall, Debo. We'll see where Breece's price ends up if Dalvin Cook signs. It'll be pretty nice that we got a 36. I mean, I guess this isn't as crazy as a fall as I've ever seen with Breece Hall, but if Dalvin Cook leaves the building today, doesn't sign the contract, you probably get a decent price there. Debo, Kittle, Godwin, Elijah Moore, Deshaun Watson, A-Rich, Penny, Jamal Williams, Tank Bigsby, Alec Pierce, Donovan Peoples-Jones, the Jakob Sanderson 13-14 turn special, Chuba Hubbard, Tyler Conklin, Gus Edwards, Malik Davis. Very fun team here. I can't say there's anything that I wish we did. Sometimes I'll come out of a draft and be like, damn, I wish we took player A or B here. What do we think?
I feel good about this. I'm a little disappointed that the board didn't fall. I'm not disappointed because I love what we build out. We have a Cleveland double. We have the A-Rich stack with Adams. It's a little disappointing that we invested so much in 49ers and didn't take Purdy, but I don't know how we could have. I guess we could have. Where did he end up going? 191. So I guess we could have gone 3 quarterback if we wanted to and taken him instead of Chuba. And that might have been worth doing. But I do think our stacks are strong. We have a lot of nice little mini correlations here that we're playing through.
You have to bring back with A-Rich too. And Breece on the way back.
Yeah, it's a fun squad from the 12 hole.
I love it. Now, before we get out of here, as always, very curious to know kind of what you're working on over at Thinking About Thinking. I know you posted updated rankings recently.
I did. Yeah, that was the most recent thing. I've been grinding. So bar exam 1 was Tuesday. Bar exam
Oh,
2
wow.
is tomorrow. So I have not posted anything since the Sunday rankings update. I'm next thing that'll be posted will probably be my FFPC rankings, which I mean, I'm going to post them based on the FFPC format. If you play NFFC or you play regular redraft, like kind of just adjust as necessary. So, dock the tight ends a little bit or whatever, but that'll be my redraft rankings, and they'll be in FFPC format. But I think they can be used pretty well for any other redraft format you play. That will get up probably either Friday or Monday. I'm going camping for the weekend. Next week, though, bar exam life will be over. Pass or fail, I won't be retaking anything next week. So I'll be if I do fail, I'll retake it someday, but not next week. So I'll be quite free. I'm just going to be writing and potting every single day. So you can expect some sort of highlight pieces on some interesting aspects of my projections. I'm probably going to talk a little bit about the Chargers. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the ambiguous backfields, I think. And then we'll start up some of the Hitchhikers off-season content, probably on the plane to Ireland in a couple of weeks. So that'll be the plan. And we'll have to chat because I'll probably have to take a couple of these off when I'm in Ireland. But we'll be back next week for sure. And then, especially when I come back, we should figure out when to stream some of these high stakes drafts and stuff. So
100%. Well, I'll be looking forward to that. That can all be found on Jacob's Substack, Thinking About Thinking. I should have a link in the description down below to find it as well. If you're new here, we just did an underdog fantasy draft. Make sure you're checking out. Use promo code Ron. It matches your first deposit up to $100. I have a link in the live chat, description, comment section down below, all of that good stuff. So shout out to them. Biggest sponsor for the channel. As always, I appreciate Jacob for coming out here, making some time on the West Coast. Appreciate everybody out here coming out in the chat, supporting the boys. And I will see you guys in the next one.